Celtics got no luck in this situation. If it was raining pussy, they'd get hit in the head with a dick. Jalen Brunson, if they win the title, top 5 all-time Knicks.
He said he's better than D-Wade. Is he out of his fucking mind? Better shooter than Klay fucking Thompson? Give him your fucking meds.
OKC must have been in touch with India and got the nukes out. They were dropping fucking bombs, man.
Beyond the narrative. Beyond the narrative. Best in class, so pray for my peers. Slingshot, pull it, it's clear. Your weak shots couldn't pierce through bulletproof ears. A martyr, a menace. I'm leading horses to drink and pulling teeth like I'm feeding the dentist. Beyond the narrative.
Thank you for watching our show. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe to stay up to date with all of our content. Welcome to another episode of The Crossover. I'm back, gentlemen. I heard you guys went a little TMZ on me, posting videos. I didn't like the comment about the 1.5 vert. And Braddock, I used to jump a little higher than that. Maybe 2 inches.
I gave you some props.
I did. I'm impressed that you remember my high school.
Come on, man.
It's very impressive.
I do my research.
Andy, the Peloton is paying off for you. I didn't see 1 inch. I saw a 12-inch vert, champ.
Oh, man, I missed you guys, but you guys did a hell of a job. But today's episode is brought to you by BTN Connect, powered by Athlete Narrative, the all-in-one recruiting platform helping athletes get seen, get signed, and get to the next level.
Let's go.
All right.
Let's go.
Let's start with the Celtics Knicks, man. Wow. I think the Celtics just shot another 3.
I'm sure they did.
And Joe Mazzulla is probably kicking himself in the ass for not taking that timeout with 12 seconds left. For the life of me, KD, and I'm not a basketball coach, you can't get a bucket in the fourth quarter. Knicks go on a 21-2 run on you. You can't get a set offense, and with 12 seconds left, you need a bucket. You don't call a timeout to get a play in.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
Well, look, it's all about the coaching philosophy. Some coaches think that, like, in those situations, you don't want to be able to, get a defender in, right, make adjustments. They trust their guys. They feel like their guys know what to do in those situations. They got the ball into the best player, on their team's hands. And, fortunately, for the Knicks, they got to stop, right? And Mikal Bridges, like at the end of the games, the last 2 games, has had like walk-off defensive stops, which we don't really highlight that much. But it's really a coaching philosophy decision.
And I understand that, and that's all good and great. But you have to go with the flow of the game. And if you are having a hard time scoring, in my opinion, you got to go to the well. You got to go, back pocket, grab your 2 or 3 best plays, pick one with your coaching staff, and then run it. I don't know what you think about that, but go to your best play to get you a bucket.
Yeah, I mean, look, for me, I think you got to, I think those coaches kind of decide that before the game happens, if they're going to kind of roll with the punches, or they have like these cards where they have different situations.
Right.
I think because that team has been so together, they've been so successful, and they kind of know where they want to go with the basketball, they didn't need a timeout to get Jason Tatum the ball.
Oh,
it just didn't work out, as planned. Now, keep in mind, right, the other night when the Pacers came off, it was a loose ball situation. They pushed the ball up the court. Excuse me, not the Pacers, but the Nuggets, and they got a 3, to kind of end the game. It's really a coaching feel.
Got it. Nev?
The Villanova Knicks.
Hey.
They bring winning pedigree. Boston is, they're going to have to go deep to defend their title because they're going back to the Madhouse on 34th in NYC, and that place is going to be lit, crunked up, and I'm telling you, Boston more than likely, better than 50% chance, I say, is going to be down 3-1 in this series. I think they grab a game. I do, because they're just not going out like that, and the NBA won't let them. Right?
Here we go.
And man, they're gonna earn their back-to-back in the worst way.
Let me tell you something about these Knicks fans. I was up till 1 in the morning, just on my IG, just looking at these videos of these nuts going crazy.
They love it.
There's no crazier fan base in the NBA.
Yeah, they love it.
And I'm not a Knicks fan, but I'm a fan of that. I just think it's amazing, man. And they're thirsty for that championship. They are so thirsty for it. And you know what? Jalen Brunson embodies them.
He does. He does.
He's a Knick. I see him, I'm like, that's a New York Knick.
Absolutely. And look, he took a pay cut right, to re-sign so that they could have flexibility to bring those Villanova guys in and get them paid. And so he's sacrificed on every level. He's continuing to elevate his game. He's one of the best clutch players. I think he was #1 in clutch points for the year. And like he's a person that we all can kind of relate to because he's not overwhelming with his size, his build, his athleticism. He's just a skilled player who's extremely tough, who's extremely confident, who comes from a basketball pedigree. His dad is one of the assistant coaches. And so, yeah, man, big shout out to Brunson, man. He's one of them boys.
Yeah, he's an unbelievable player. And Nev, I do agree with you. I don't see how the Celtics come back from this. I don't. I can't see it.
They are showing. I mean, man, all the luck is on New York side right now. I mean, the Celtics got no luck in this situation, man. If it was raining pussy, they'd get hit in the head with a dick. I mean, that's where it is.
This show is brought to you by BTN Connect, powered by Athlete Narrative. Parents, you're probably spending thousands and thousands of dollars trying to get your kid recruited and going nowhere fast. But with this app for $15 a month, solves all the headaches that you're going through. And this app is backed by AI, which saves you a ton of time, and you don't have to write manually and trying to track these coaches down. Be sure to hit the link in our description or in our bio. Sign up now.
Man.
Yeah. Listen, Porzingis is struggling. He came off the bench yesterday, and you can tell something's up with him.
Yeah,
he's not right.
Yeah,
he's not right. Listen, the body language of that team doesn't feel like last year. They kind of remind me when the Heat went in there as the 8th seed and took that first game from the Celtics at their place. It kind of feels that way with this Celtics
They're
team.
feeling
again.
like, I mean, I'm telling you, the way it looks like the Knicks are on house money. So they're playing loosey-goosey. And, you know, Katie could tell you better than we know. Like, yo, when you got nothing to lose and you're in that thing and you got the big favorite in a chokehold, man, it's fun.
Right.
And Boston, you could see them tensing up.
Right.
You don't give away 2 fourth-quarter leads or 2 second-half leads that deep without, like, you got to be questioning yourself.
Yeah, that Knick team has embodied Tom Thibodeau, and he's gotten a lot of slack. Like, I've been kind of like hard on him, but they have like that roughneck mentality where they're not going to give up. They were down 17 and they came back and fought. But KD, what are your thoughts on Thibodeau as a coach overall?
Yeah, man. I think he's, you know, if you look at his family tree of basketball, he's a Riley disciple, right? He came under Jeff Van Gundy and that kind of lineage within the basketball community. So one thing you know about those guys, they're going to, 1, be prepared. 2, you know they're going to be tough as nails. 3, you know they're going to game plan. 4, you know that he's going to unlock some toughness within you. And he's going to get players that play that brand of basketball. And so, like, a lot of times as NBA, like, we've criticized J.J. Redick for playing his guys too much. We criticize Tibbs for doing that. But at the end of the day, like, those are the guys he trusts. You know, it's his basketball philosophy, and he's going to roll with that. And he's had great success being able to do that. Now, the Celtics, on the other hand, like, they were the #1 road team in the NBA this year, so they have the capacity to be able to go out and win on the road. Number 2, they are still the defending champions, and so, like, you still have to consider them a threat. But the third thing I'll say about it is that they do look like they're on their heels a little bit, whether it's injury, whether it's not shooting the ball and seeing it kind of go through the net, whether it's the pressure and the moment is too big, like being, you know, the hunted versus being the hunter.
So I've talked to a few Celtic fans, a really good friend of mine, best friend, huge Celtics fan, and I saw Dave Portnoy. Nothing makes me more happier than seeing Dave Portnoy be miserable with his Celtics. I like Dave personally and what he's built, but when it comes to his fucking Boston teams, I want to see him die in misery. But anyways, they're saying that they have lived and died by the 3, and that's their philosophy. They've shot 100 threes in 2 games, and they're 25% from 3. At what point, and Mazzulla's staying gun-ho with this is our identity as a team.
Yeah.
But at what point does he make an adjustment and say, hey, we got to, if it's not a good look, do not shoot it?
Yeah, I think you got to live by, you know, if you live by the sword, you got to die by the sword. Obviously, like, they play into the analytics part of it. And so they believe that their guys have the capacity, you know, to shoot a high volume amount of threes and make it at a high percentage clip. And so that is what has made them successful. That is what has allowed them to, you know, be this successful as an organization. But this is also where, like me, as being an old school NBA guy, I think, the eyes have to tell you what the game needs. It's not just the analytics. I think it's the merging of the analytics and the eyes. And I think you have to make some adjustments, not only, to, get into your mid-range game and things like that, but also, like, I think the Celtics wore teams down with their depth. And now they're playing 8 deep. Right. If you're playing the best 8 against the other team's best 8 with the Knicks, I think the Knicks are more equipped. I think the Celtics, with having Hauser and having some of those guys come off the bench and, make an impact or be an X factor, when those guys get DNPs, you don't have that ability for your depth to kind of take full advantage of.
And here's the other problem they're running into. Now they got to go on the road, which they are the best road team, right, in the NBA. But you tend to shoot a less lower percentage with three-pointers, and you're having issues. You're in a slump with your three-pointers. Do you go in with that same mentality of just jacking shots up?
Yeah, I think you have to.
Yeah.
I mean, because that's their brand of basketball. That's the way they kind of play.
Yeah.
It's like saying you have, a dominant post player back in our era, and you're not going to throw the ball into him. You can't identify yourself as a team during the playoffs. You have to make adjustments, but you have to be who you are.
I'm just so old school with my basketball. I like to watch efficient basketball. Like, one of the things I loved about D. Wade is how efficient he is. Tyrese Haliburton, which we'll get into, he's so efficient, 7 for 11 the other night, 19 points. I'd rather have a guy that's efficient 19 points than an inefficient 35 points. And the NBA has gone to this mindset of, gun and run, right? So that's where we're at. I know that's where the game's evolved to, the analytics and all that. But for me, it's just a tough brand of basketball to watch. Like, I see the Knicks, and that's the type of brand of basketball. Probably because it's Riley basketball, right?
Yeah,
I mean, comes from.
It's, what was it, 91 to 90?
Yep.
Like, you're seeing like a 90 style of basketball in the playoffs. And like I said, man, big shout out to the referees because they're letting the
them play.
players
Absolutely
decide the game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Shoot or shoot. Shoot or shoot. Boston's going to do what they do. That's it. And if you go out, you die on your sword. That's how it is.
Part of it.
I don't see them changing up their game. And, it's a good. I love this coaching clash. We were just giving Joe Mazzulla his flowers, which he deserves. They won a title, and now he's in the hole. Let's see how he gets his team out of it.
Yeah,
see how he responds. I've always had some questions with his coaching style, stuff that I saw the year before. I know he won last year and great, but the year before he had some questionable things with substitutions and time management and just things that are very unorthodox in my opinion as a coach. But we'll see where this is.
Quick question on the Knicks. Jalen Brunson, if they win the title, top 5 all-time Knick?
Yeah.
Okay.
100%.
If they win a title, because a lot of those guys didn't deliver a title. Right. So,
and I think he goes to the top of the list for how thirsty that Knick fan base is.
Just wanted to put something out there. Yeah. And one last comment that we don't get out of the segment. You said nothing makes you happier than Dave Portnoy. Yes, there is. Watching Paul Pierce suffer.
Oh, God, Paul Pierce.
The truth.
That's right. I was going to move on without talking about Paul.
The truth.
Oh, my God. So this guy goes on his show. I don't even know what show he goes on. He said he was going to walk 15 miles to the studio if the Celtics lost game 2. Is our boy walking?
I don't know. Like Paul has a, I get to see his After Dark show now.
Right.
So I know he has like a Hugh Hefner type wardrobe with the robes. But like one of the things about Paul, man, that a lot of people really don't understand is Paul is one of the best shit talkers. And he's not just doing it, and saying it because for clickbait.
Right.
Like when Paul has an opinion on something, he talks.
We're talking about inefficiency. He has inefficient shit talking.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Dude, he said he's better than D. Wade. Is he out of his fucking mind?
Yeah, I mean, I did.
He's a better shooter than Klay fucking Thompson? Come on, KD.
Hey, look, man.
He's off his rocker.
Hey, Paul,
Nev, give him your fucking meds. Dude, like, what's up with this guy?
I don't share my meds or my Skittles.
It's the truth. Paul is the truth. He talks his shit. That's what he's known for doing.
Oh, man. He also said Zion Williamson's Duke team could beat the Cavs team.
Paul understands the algorithms. He understands, what
fucking nut job sounds
Listen,
just like me.
I get it, man. I get it. I say some fucking crazy shit, too. I get it, Paul. I get it.
Yeah.
I want to see you walk, though. Please do it.
He may do it, though.
Yeah.
He just may do it. He might say, you know what, I might ride my bike instead. I don't know if he can get to where he lives to that part
How
of the
was
city.
he as a teammate?
Paul was awesome.
Yeah.
You know, one of the things about Paul, man, a lot of people don't realize is that I never beat him to the gym. Even if I was trying to go there 3 hours early and get treatment and things like that, Paul would come to practice every day. Before you got in your locker, he had already done a workout, and he would do it in his practice jersey from his rookie year. In the summer times in LA, you know, when he was playing with the Celtics, we were playing with the Clippers, he would come to work out with us in the morning, then go to the sand dunes, then go to UCLA, then go hang out all night, talk shit, almost get in a fight, and then do it again the next day. Like, Paul was truly dedicated to his craft. He was a great teammate, and I enjoyed, you know, playing with him.
Yeah, awesome. I hate him.
Not to burst your bubble at all, you know what I'm saying? Because he's in the media space now, but
I hate
he's
him.
always been a shit
All
talker.
right, let's keep it moving.
All right, I got you.
You know, I'd like to do my TMZ routine. We have a very recent update, like within a minute. Fellas,
Let the world know.
let everybody know. We have found Paul Pierce.
Where is he?
All right, time for me to get to stepping. Man, this really wild, though. I can't believe this. Celtics got me out here like this, dog. Man, I'm way out here. I'm stepping, though. Here we go, baby. Here we go. Give y'all an update. I done just passed receiver. I'm almost gonna make a right. Probably gonna go up into the mountains pretty soon.
He's walking.
Hey, that says a lot about him.
He's really
100%.
walking.
Listen, now I got respect for you, my
man,
brother.
he's standing
What
on
is
the
his nickname?
The truth.
And that's what he told. He's walking.
Man, that's it, man.
All right, Truth.
I love that,
Shout
man.
out, champ.
Yeah,
man.
you know what? I don't hate you anymore, but I got
Yeah,
respect for you and
Andy
love for
gets
you.
soft a little, man.
I love that. Held is part of the bargain. All right, so moving on. OKC, I was working on my computer last night doing stuff for our situation, and all of a sudden I look up, it's 72-40 whatever, with 4 minutes left in the second quarter. I go, holy shit, what happened here?
Yeah.
Dude, they scored over 80 points in the first half.
Yeah,
Was that
yeah.
an all-star game?
Yeah.
It was not. It was a playoff game. It just felt like that.
Holy shit.
OKC must have been in touch with India and got the nukes out. Holy shit. Man, they were dropping fucking bombs, man.
Oh my God.
8 double-digit guys.
Yeah.
8 double-digit guys for OKC.
Yeah, that was, my God.
Yeah, it's, you know, the way I look at it is, one, I think Denver still came out good in that series, right? Because when you're an underdog, a lower seed, you want to steal home court advantage. And they went in and they got that victory game one, right? But number two, it seems like OKC got the cobwebs off of them a little bit, right? Because the long layoff after kind of sweeping the first round and blowing, you know, just kind of running through the first round. So it looks like they're clicking on some cylinders, and they got some of their guys off the bench going. I think Isaiah Joe was like 5 for 5. He was 4 for 4 from the three-point line. And so when you have those bonuses and you get those guys some more experience, I think they'll be confident going into Denver. But you always have to factor in the altitude and the fact that Joker's on the other side.
Great point.
Yeah,
That's a great point.
OKC got recalibrated.
Yeah.
And now all this means now is that Denver's got home court advantage.
Losing
The
a
five-game
game,
series.
losing a game like that, Katie. Let me ask you, because you've been in the game in that type of fashion. Does that hurt your confidence
No.
throughout the series?
No. You just kind of, learn from it, and you throw it away, right? And you believe that you still can go out and do it and replicate what you did game one. At the end of the day, Denver is still a championship team. They have a championship pedigree, and they still have the best player on the planet right now. Mm-hmm. So I think they're still going to be confident in their ability once they get back to the altitude.
Who do you think needs to step up with Denver? Because they're throwing.
Michael Porter Jr. Michael Porter Jr., kind of needs to step up. He's a guy who has to get you between 15 and 18 points because they don't really highlight him in the offense, right? So he has to kind of play off of people. But I think he has to be the guy to step up because Westbrook has been great off the bench. Braum has had a great playoffs, being a Swiss Army knife. Joker is Joker. Murray's had some big games in the playoffs. Aaron Gordon has been timely, just doing what he does. So I think their X factor is Michael Porter Jr.
What are your thoughts on Michael Porter Jr. as a player overall? I think he's streaky, right?
He's streaky. He's a streaky player. But like what I see is, one, he went to Mizzou, so I always got love for my Missoula guys.
Right.
Two, he's shown so much resilience, right? He has a imbalance in his legs, so one leg is longer than the other, so he had to battle some things in his body, and he's been able to like turn himself into a durable, reliable player. And then the third thing I'll say is that, like, man, like his brother went through some stuff off of the court, and like, you know, he has to weigh and wear that as well, and he's still able to go out and produce and be a good model citizen. But like the streakiness in the playoffs, I think it can still serve them, right? Because Buddy Hield is streaky. In those 9 threes he had, you know, in that closeout game, like you have to take the good with the bad.
That
but Michael,
right
he's the X factor.
Yeah. I'd see the KD's breakdown on that. You know, I think that's a great series.
Yeah. Is OKC the favorite to win this whole entire thing?
Well,
in your mind?
I mean, look, I predicted the Celtics and OKC, you know, at the beginning of the playoffs. I think OKC is I think if the Celtics don't win it in the East, Cleveland obviously is struggling with Indy having, you know, Garland out, and Evan Mobley missed the last game. Donovan is playing spectacular, but I think if Boston loses, I think OKC becomes the favorite.
They do, right?
Yeah.
So who would you say out of the 3 teams that would be left in the East, right? If you remove the Celtics, would go to the finals? Do you think it's Indiana, potentially Cleveland, which they're hurt? I don't know. I can't see them, or the Knicks.
You know what? I'm still going to go with the Celtics. I just believe that they are more talented than everyone. I think they're proven as champions. And so, like, I don't think they'll continue to shoot 25% from the 3. I think at some point the basket will open up, and I think their overall philosophy will wear teams down. And I think they have the capacity to win on the road, and I think they know adversity.
Right. We'll see. All right, so moving on to the Cleveland-Indiana series. Indiana's up 2-0. Garland's out. I think that's impacted the series tremendously. Mobley being out as well.
It hurts.
Does Cleveland have a chance of recovering?
If they get healthy. I don't think, like, the Pacers is one of those teams that have so much continuity. They just stick with it. They play together. They play their brand of basketball. They're well coached. That I don't think you can beat them, like, you know, with your clip half full. So if Garland gets back, Evan Mobley gets back, there's still a curve, because when you miss a little bit of time, you know what I mean, there's some rust there. But Donovan Mitchell is one of those guys, man, right? He can perform on a high level. But if they're not healthy, I just don't think they have enough weapons to be able to beat the Pacers if they're not healthy.
Agreed.
I see both favorites going down at least 3-1. That would be Cleveland and that would be Boston. I think both favorites are going to be in 3-1 holes.
It's hard to come from that. You know, it's hard to come back from that.
It is.
Yeah, that's tough. I don't see the Celtics getting 1 in Madison. I mean, getting 2 in Madison Square Garden. I just don't see it. I don't see it. Anything's possible. That's why you play the game. But it's a very uphill, tough battle, especially with the momentum that the Knicks have right now. But going back to Indiana, now Indiana's at home.
They're in the same situation.
Same
as the Knicks.
situation.
Yeah, going home. You know, we could be having a whole different conversation next week.
Yeah. How about my boy Tyrese Haliburton?
Yeah, man. Hallie is man, he's such a good player, man. He's so sound all across the board. He's so consistent. He impacts the game. Even when he's not scoring, he still impacts the game, right? He plays the game. He's got a great ground game, and I think he's one of the best players in the NBA. One of them. Not top 5, Andy.
Yeah.
Not top 5.
Yeah.
I don't even think he's top 5 point guards.
Damn.
But he's definitely one
crazy.
of the most, you know, complete point guards in the game.
Listen, I'm a prisoner of the moment, all right?
I mean, his dad may be one of the top 5 shit-talking parents. But he's not one of the top 5 players in the NBA, but he is solid.
Yeah, man, he's a good player.
I think he's top 10. Top 5 was a little bit of a stretch on my end.
If you're a top 20.
I was just like, I was in the moment with him hitting that shot, that step back, and I was like, this guy's top 5. The way he's playing in the in the playoffs, I'm like,
You were feeling yourself.
I was feeling it.
Yeah.
It's all right, man.
Now
Listen,
Jalen Brunson's number 5.
Listen, if you're a top 20, NBA player, you're doing work.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I love his game. I go back to I love efficiency. I love efficient basketball players like that. You were in that Heat culture. They didn't take you can't take stupid shots or they'll bench you in Miami. But the NBA's evolved. I get it. But I'm just a fan of efficient basketball. I like watching D Wade score 25 points, taking 10 shots, 12 shots, whatever it is that number adds up to. That's the kind of basketball I like. But that's why I'm a fan of Haliburton. All right, moving on. All right, Warriors, Minnesota. Warriors are up 1-0. Steph Curry pulled hamstring.
Yeah.
Is going to be out for at least a week. How do you see this series shaking down now?
Ooh, I mean, it's tough, right? Losing Steph really hurts not only your offense, but your confidence, right? Because him being on the court allows other people to play into space and allows other people, to have an impact on the game. So they will miss him. But I always say this, man, when you're the road team and you can go in and you can steal home court advantage, you've done your job for that particular trip. Now everything else is just kind of icing on the cake.
I think Golden State's in a world of trouble without Steph Curry, just as I thought they were in a world of trouble without Jimmy Butler. You're not losing one of those two guys, and obviously Steph's an all-world performer, all-time all-world performer, and I wouldn't put Jimmy Butler in that category. However, I would put him in. He's that dude right at this stage of his career, and whoever's left in the playoffs. And without a full arsenal of those guys, they're on borrowed time.
Yeah.
Potentially, he's going to be out 3 games. Can you see the Warriors getting 1 game out of those 3?
Well,
because then it makes it a 2-2 series and him coming back. Now, how healthy is he going to be is the question.
Right. I picked Minnesota to win this series. I still feel like...
So there's a gentleman's sweep, you think?
I mean, look, I don't put too much clout on how many they win. It's the first to 4 at the end of the day. And I think Minnesota will get to 4 first.
Okay.
I think Golden State wins one at home because at the end of the day, it's still a home game for them, and that's still a roadblock for a traveling NBA squad. I think that I could see this series easily going 7, with or without Steph Curry. I think it can go 7, but there's no way. I just don't see Golden State winning that series.
Yeah, how do you make
Steph
up for that production that Steph? There's no way of making that up.
Yeah, you can't make up for it, and it goes back to one of the points I made last week, I believe. Not playing Kuminga in the playoffs and allowing him to get some type of rhythm because, you need these X factors as the series changes, as injuries happen.
They started playing him in that Rockets series a little bit.
But not enough to be able to get rhythm. This kid is a max talent. Right, and when you're questioning yourself
your
and
confidence,
you're not getting that consistent play time, it's hard to just turn it on, especially in the playoffs because guys are already revved up.
You've been on that for a few weeks now.
Yeah, man.
Katie was on that a few weeks ago and has mentioned it a few times. And you roll dice hoping a guy doesn't get hurt, and now we're here.
Yeah, here we are.
They were starting to get hot a little bit in the way that they win game 1 in there, and beat the brakes off of Minnesota, and I thought, whoa, they have a certain look to them that they can possibly make this run, but yeah, with Steph getting hurt, it's just it's impossible, I think, and I don't know how to gauge this.
Yeah, well, Anthony Edwards has to play better, number 1.
Yeah.
Right, if he plays his brand of basketball. I think, the Timberwolves are okay.
Right.
But if he struggles, which, the Warriors are good enough defensively to make it tough on you.
Right.
But if Ant-Man struggles, you know what I mean, then, we're looking at something different. But I just don't anticipate him struggling. I think he'll figure it out. I think he's that good.
I think Minnesota really rolls them in this game, too.
You think so?
I do. I think in this game, too, they really they take it out on them.
Got it. Well, guys, this concludes our show. Thank you. Hold on. Did we get it?
I got an important announcement.
We do. Oh,
Somebody's birthday!
It's my birthday.
Yeah. All right, man.
45.
happy birthday, KD.
Thank you, man. I
Happy
appreciate it,
birthday,
man. God
bro.
is good, man.
Yes,
God
sir.
is good. Another trip around the moon.
Yeah.
That's it, man.
So I don't know if you're an Oreo chocolate fan.
I
but
am definitely an Oreo chocolate fan. Thank you.
Man.
Thank you, Miguel. Appreciate that.
All right, boys.
Man.
Yeah,
Happy
thank you, guys.
birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, KD. Happy birthday to you.
All I need to do is go to Turkey or Colombia now and get my hairline restored. I'll be good money then.
All right, make sure to follow us, subscribe to all our platforms, BTN Sports, and we'll catch you in the next one.
Beyond the narrative. Beyond the narrative. Best in class, so pray for my peers. Slingshot bullet, it's clear. Your weak shots couldn't pierce through bulletproof ears. A martyr, a menace. I'm leading horses to drink and pulling teeth like I'm feeding the dentist.